Hi everyone. Today is Tuesday, August the 15th. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We just had U.S. retail sales come out, and the import price index and Empire State Manufacturing. It's not doing much of anything to the charts, but we are in a bit of a peat bog. We're still trying to carve out a floor here in general. My suspicion is that we will find buyers at the base here, right? So this is a fairly steep linear regression channel, and so it does tell me that it will likely change direction. When it's that steep, it normally changes direction. So it will flatten out a little bit. So where are we likely to see buyers? Well, here's a low, here's a higher low, and this is also a higher low. So what this is telling us is I've got buyers underneath here. So what's the moral of the story? Don't short the low. That's the moral of the story. So if we look at the daily chart, which is not showing our intraday motion, we can see that we were very high, and now we faded all the way back down into this area right here, the open of yesterday. You think buyers are going to show up? Probably. Okay, they're probably going to show up. So how do you want to look at that? Well, you have to wait for them to show up, certainly, unless you want to catch a falling knife. But the way you might do that is go to your 5-minute and remember the same thing that I say all the time, right? 1, have I failed to head lower? That answer is no, right here on this first pass. We can see it lifting off of this edge because we have a wide angle view of the prior day, all right? So if you say to yourself, all right, as soon as it lifts off of this edge, I'm gonna buy, your floor is just under this low, right? Some ticks under this low. It probably is all the way down here, to be sure, but we are going to have big players, institution-sized players that are going to come in off of this low after some stops have been broken and then pop the chart up, if that happens. You can see it rushing though. So a scalp trade, perfectly fine, moving in this area. As it comes up into the prior resistance, then you got to take some profit. But that is exactly what you would do, being prepared and focusing on what are the bigger time frames telling me. How did I maybe suspect that this price action was going to give a bounce? Now, 5-minute chart might be big. You might want to do a 1-minute chart since it's news, and then you can see it fading and then holding, right? Just like it did here. It touches the edge of that prior day, turns around and holds. There's the VWAP, right? So chances are old resistance, new support. It's going to jockey around in that space, but that is the mechanical motion of what you want to watch for and how you can take a trade when it comes into an edge like that. All right? As the day moves on, really what we are trying to do is get through these edges. And so we're going to have, the VWAP action is all the way up here at 445. This is the sort of stuff that the chart will try to recover, right? So 445.75. So far, it's bouncing, but not bouncing that great. All right, so you could take the scalp trade from that perspective. Okay, so let's go to the ES. Today. Okay, there we go. ES, we've got, let's take a look at this. Because these charts are continuous, you can see that yesterday's open right here, okay, and so far, what have we done? Low, higher low, higher low, higher low. We could have ourselves a bounce. We certainly could have ourselves a little bit of a bounce. And so from that perspective, hang on 2 secs. I need to take care of something right here. All right. And so let's say we bounce. What does the trader want to get past? They want to get past 84. And then they want to move through this candlestick, right? The 2 candlesticks here give us relative resistance about 44.93, right? And that's really what the price action looks like to me in general. That's what it looks like to me. All right. What else do I want to do? Okay. All right. Let's go to the NQ. Sorry, a little distracted this morning, trying to figure out some things. Okay, so got the NQ. Take a look at the monthly formation, right? This is breaking down. This is breaking down, folks. If they do not recover up above 15,300, this chart's going to have some significant troubles, okay? But take a look, very steep, and low, higher low, another higher low. So they are trying to lift up into the edge of this channel. If it breaks through the channel, the linear regression formation will shift. It is a moving formation. So you can't just look at it on the edge and go, oh, I'm shorting that. That's not how to play a linear regression channel. All right, so what you want to look for is what's happening with the 2 candles to the left. Okay, they're trying to make it up. So this is where they're going to try and come, 15,200. If they can't get there, meaning they bounce here, but then they lose 15,182, the chart is going to fade. NVIDIA reports at the end of the week. I'm pretty sure they're not going to do well in terms of what the broad market is looking for, but we'll see, right? We shall see. I think it's going to be a pretty good price mover since it's been, the AI master. So what are we looking at? Here's a bottoming formation. Here's a bounce up into the edge of the linear regression channel. And now the fade back into the high of 2 days ago. Okay? What are they trying to do? Hold the floor. Again, same sort of thing. They lose the edge. They're going to head lower. The formation says sell the bounce. Okay? So you want to wait, watch the bounce move up, look for old support that will look like new resistance, and you can position your trade short. Okay? All right. Let's take a look at oil. So, as I mentioned in times past, when oil was just moving right off the rails, I said, listen, I do believe that oil's going to roll over. I believe it's going to roll over simply because it's mid-election cycle. We don't want to see inflation numbers up. And oil is going to come in. I don't even know how it works, but in general, this is what we see. I don't want to put a tinfoil hat on, but whatever, okay? So the charts are in backwardation, and that is bearish. And so what did we just do a second ago? Came right down into the base of the channel and bounced. So is there a Y that tells us that that is the case? Now this green line is the monthly open. This fade, I have a low, a higher low, another higher low. I don't really see that this is a stopping block. I suspect that it's closer to 80, okay? And it might even be down here at the 78-ish area. Let's see on the weekly what we're looking at. Maybe 80, let's pull this back. That's kind of our old resistance, new support, right? A little bit closer to 80. So my suspicion is, again, with oil, that we bounce and then fade. Okay, so we sell the fade on that. Looking at the 2 candles to the left, we can see that opening the month or the low of the prior day just got broken. So any bounce into this area would be the first pass short. And I continue to see that move. All right, so the last thing we're going to look at is the dollar. Okay, so the dollar is moving up. I believe the dollar should be in a long formation. I think the ruble, they are trying to stop it from falling through the floorboards, and so I believe the Russian bank raised the interest rate by 3.5%, so that's 350 basis points at one clip, and yeah, so that's big for them, but this is still moving to the upside. And I suspect it makes another go because it's got a low, a higher low, and a higher low. This is going to affect the yield curves, and that is going to affect how equities behave. And so somebody like Mayhem on Markets and Mayhem on X would be a guy to listen to on those kinds of things. He and Aisha Tark are very good at those macro things, and they're the folks that I listen to quite often. All right, that's it for me. I will see you all on the platforms. Good luck trading.